today's lesson, we are looking at career tech, and under career technology, we are going to look at food hygiene. Now, how do you start off with this topic? Okay, so with the TLM, it's going to be easy. It's going to be very, very easy. You can ask a student to purchase food. You know, these food they sell on campus or around the school premises is not quite expensive. So you can ask a student to purchase food, and then place this food in front of the class. Do not cover it, okay? And let's see what a student might say. A student might say, "Madam, flies," or "Madam, please cover your food," or something like that. But then even before we dive deeper into food hygiene, the students have to understand what hygiene is. So what is hygiene? Hygiene simply means the rules or whatever it takes. Because the student will be using this definition, let's go for a normal definition, okay? So hygiene simply means maintaining a healthy environment or keeping one's surrounding or body clean. Because hygiene, we've not stated as to whether personal hygiene or whatever. So keeping oneself or the surrounding clean, anything that has to do with keeping the environment or the body clean is what? Hygiene. Now the hygiene, we have personal hygiene, we have food hygiene, but in today's topic we are looking at food hygiene. And for that matter, what is food hygiene? If the student understands that hygiene means keeping your environment or your body clean, then this time around food hygiene means an activity or a safe precaution you take to keep your food clean and prevent it from what? Diseases. Now they understand food hygiene. What are some of the practices you have to adapt to maintain food hygiene? And that is where your TLM, the food you brought to the class, that is where it comes in, okay? So they have to, first of all, take note that when it comes to the practices of maintaining food hygiene, you always have to cover your food when you're not ready to eat, okay? You cover your food when you're not ready to eat. Also, you have to wash your hands with what? Soap and water. You don't even have to come out with these examples for the kids. They will brainstorm. You brainstorm with them, okay? They will tell you what they have to do, and then you as a teacher, you have to correct. If probably somebody said the wrong thing, you just have to correct whatever he or she said, and then you're good to go. So the examples they are going to give you, that is it, you're good to go. These are some of the practices they have to adapt to maintain what? Food hygiene. Now, since they've already given you the practices, let's move on to the groups of food. So we have, under the groups, we have perishable, semi-perishable, and non-perishable foods. When we say perishable, what does it mean? So you can use this to explain. Perishable simply means something that cannot last for a longer time, okay? Something that cannot last, like you perish. We perish. Let's use ourselves as an example. We will perish. That means we will not last for a longer time. No matter what we do on this earth, we will one day live, we will one day die. That means we will expire, okay? In a nutshell, perishable food simply means these foods will what? Expire at certain given points. Examples, what are some of these foods that can expire? We have that of the milk, cream, etc. Even they'll give you examples themselves, okay? With the milk, you know, this milk, when you buy, it has expiry dates. And even if with the expiry dates, once you open it and you don't refrigerate, and it takes some days, it's going to what? It's going to get spoiled. So you have to explain. With the semi-perishable, we have foods like the bread, okay? And we have vegetables, all these things. Now, with the bread and vegetables, if you don't store, we have ways of storing. If you don't store it, even if you store it and it gets to a certain point, it will still spoil. Then we come to non-perishable. Non-perishable means what? It does not get spoiled. Okay, examples are the canned foods like the mackerel and all that. these are non-perishable foods. Having explained these terms to them, okay, having explained these terms to them, now the question is, how do they preserve all these things? And that will lead us to preservation of what? Foods. And that is going to lead us to preservation of food. Now, probably a student does not understand what preservation means. So preservation is a way of keeping a food item for a longer period without spoiling, okay? So what are some of the preservation of food? So you look at the examples they've given you. How are you going to preserve milk? How are you going to preserve milk? Somebody will say freezing, by freezing. So freezing is an example. How are you going to preserve, let's say, fish? Fish is by what? Salting, by drying, by freezing. At this point, they've given you all the examples you need, okay? Even though these are not the preservation of foods, these are not all. But then they've been able to come out and brainstorm. And at this point, they understand that if you do not use these methods of food preservation, your items are going to what? Spoil. And so yes, this is simple. Once you get to this point, you are good to go. You just flow. Okay, and so yes, this is the end of today's lesson. Thank you very much for watching. This is Beginner's Guide 101. My name is Lottie, and I do create educational content for your page. So stay tuned and stay connected. Peace out.